some real money in the room.
When did you get sentenced and when did you find out you were going to Fergason unit?
I was already sentenced and was in TDC. I found out that I was going to Fergason after New Year's, after the goddamn Rose Bowl. Because I was already, I went from Gurney, I went from Newton County to Gurney to Buster Cove. Because you know, Gurney is a processing unit where you take your tests, take your physicals, and they gonna send you somewhere else. Because I was in the Tennessee Colony region, they sent me to Buster Cove. You know what I'm saying? Buster Cove still is a state jail / transfer unit, but I did 7 months on the Buster Cove unit, and then they transferred me to Fergason as a trustee. That's how I ended up at Fergason as a trustee.
Oh, so because you had a job in jail, they put
Nah, I ain't no had shit. When you go in that hole, like, this is a message to the kids, bro. Like, nigga, you gonna work regardless. Nah, when you become a trustee, you just become a upgraded slave. You just become an upgraded slave. You work longer, and they don't give you no privileges, and they try to threaten you by you having a cubicle where you can lay in your privacy. And we're gonna take your cubicle away if you don't go pick up this broccoli. So it's nothing cool with being a fucking trustee. A trustee is a slave.
And so I guess you get the job as a trustee.
Yeah.
And the only job they had available was in Fergason for that
No,
situation?
Basically, I don't know how they do their clarifications, but because, like, bro, the charges I went to jail with, the charges I went to jail for, is like they say we could, this nigga's still an inmate, but we could trust him more.
Right.
We can't trust a dude who did aggravated robbery because he probably get mad and bust somebody's head. We can't trust nobody who do this. So we gonna trust these guys who took IDs or smoked crack to go pick broccoli. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I guess I asked that because from my understanding, most people who end up in Fergason have violent crimes.
No, that's a bullshit law. In prison, it's about whatever they want to send you. And just because you at a fucking trustee camp don't mean we in prison still, bro. We still around dirty motherfuckers. So, like, no, dude, like, it was niggas grimy. Fergason was grimy. Fergason very grimy. Yeah.
When you get to the yard, was OG Percy there?
No, how I heard of Percy, it was a situation between the homies and it was a homie from Henderson and it was a blood from Longview. You know what I'm saying?
East Texas.
Yeah, Longview, Texas. So whatever they got into when they was at work, they came back to the weight room, they fought. You know what I'm saying? The homie from Henderson, he got the best of the dude from Longview. So the Bloods was like, they was mad about that. You know what I'm saying? So really what we was at in Fergason, Houston wasn't that deep in Fergason. Fort Worth and Dallas was at the time I was there. And you had a couple of guys from Waco, but Fort Worth was like the majority when it came down to the homies, bro. So they issued a violation because the homie from Henderson punched the Blood while he was down. So I was a part of one of the people to violate one of the homies, you know what I'm saying? Percy found out about it, you know what I'm saying? So when Percy found out about it, he sent a message back to the camp.
So y'all were gonna violate a guy.
We violated him.
For fighting the opposite team.
Come on, bro.
And winning.
Come on, bro. It's like this. In prison, we have rules, bro. If it's an honest fight, it's an honest fight. You can't punch somebody when they down. You got to make sure that they get up. I felt the same way. They fighting. So if you punch his ass while he down, you punch his ass while he down. These guys didn't believe in that. They felt like, because you got to understand, they can get mad because there's a lot of friendly-ass politics in prison. Like these niggas sitting down watching baseball games with these niggas, basketball, eating popcorn. They chilling with each other. So these ain't no rival shit like Cali, like Crips and Bloods. Like, no, these niggas friendly. So the only reason why that boy got done like that because it was like, because they didn't want to fight their friend, basically. That's how it was.
So he violated.
Yeah.
And what happened? What transpired?
What transpired was Percy found out about it. He said, whatever homie that touched the homie about that situation, we should get DP. That I never heard of a DP until Crip Mac but we should get violated. You know what I'm saying? Because we broke the code.
Yeah, Texas doesn't use the word DP. They use the word violate.
Yeah. So you know, the homie Rude Boy, bro, he talked to us about it, but like, man, we ain't listen to Percy. We was done. You know what I'm saying? So, but when I got to the building, it's a difference. I had to check in the camp, but then I gotta also check in the building. I got an NCIC ran on me while I had 2 detainers. I had 2 cases in Houston County and Brazoria County. So they put me in the building because that upgraded my security risk. You know what I'm saying?
What's an SCIC?
Huh? An NCIC?
Yeah.
A national warrant check.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So they ran a national warrant check. These are 2 things gonna happen before you got the penitentiary. It's like you don't get your blood taken, and they gonna run and see if you picked up any cases while you was incarcerated with them. So if you pick up any new cases while you're incarcerated with them, you're gonna get transported to whatever county they want you. So I was wanted by 2 counties, so I got transferred to Houston County, then I got transferred to Brazoria County. Yeah, I'm going off you.
So, okay, well, you were at I guess Percy was trying to violate you.
No, Percy never was in a situation where Percy was trying to violate me. See, Percy was running a situation where if you bag a Crip, you getting checked. Basically seeing where your heart at.
Right.
So it doesn't matter who you is. You bag a Crip, the time, like that shit was some bozo shit too. But, because I didn't see it like that, you know what I'm saying? But Percy saw it like that. Percy like, if you bang Crip, you fight. Go to the basketball court. Bro, it was 3 dudes. A dude named Cali, light-skinned guy with Cali good hair. They had a dude from Bunton, and they had a other dude, but Bunton was right, because Bunton was a blood. But they had a nigga from South Dallas. The South Dallas dude, man, talking about, bro, he was tired of fucking with people behind that shit. So it was an H-Town. So I really started fucking with the H-Town cause a dude named Caesar. Caesar say, bro, we gonna fight, H-Town gonna take care of H-Town. So basically Fort Worth wasn't gonna do nothing. You know what I'm saying? It was gonna be H-Town on me versus Fort Worth. You feel me? But like, no. Percy basically, when I went to the window to check in with Percy, cause then like that's the other thing too, where I want people to understand that you got a lot of dudes that's like you can't prove or verify. This ain't no YouTube shit. This ain't no shit that I read in the book. I saw Percy in the flesh. I was in white. He was in white. I was bagging Crip, and he was holding keys for that cell block for Crip. That's the only way that I met him. If you ain't Crippin', you have never met this man. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of guys that be saying that he didn't do this, how he didn't do that. I'm saying it's more niggas that came out on YouTube than they came out in prison. They wasn't telling that nigga that shit in prison. They wasn't calling him a crackhead in prison. They was really riding this nigga dick and scared of him in prison. See, one thing about it was, when I was a criminal, bro, I wanted to be the top criminal. I wanted to be the top dog. I didn't want to be the little soldier. So a guy like me, when I was in prison at 24, I was operating on, I'm going to take any fight, and any nigga that fight, I fight when I'm going to beat their ass so I can fight the dude who holding the keys so I can hold the keys.
So did you end up fighting Percy, or how
Never.
did it work?
Never.
Okay, well, what you said originally, and I just want to stick to the script here, but you said that a violation was ran and Percy wanted to look at the people who...
Yeah.
So what happened with that?
Nothing ever happened.
Oh, y'all never had.
We never fought.
Okay, well, you just said again that you ended up running into Percy and you were supposed to get your check,
No. I'm going too fast for you. In the camp, I have to check in and acknowledge when you come into a jail situation, right? You have to announce who you with. So in the camp, I announced to the homies in the camp who I was. But when I got transferred to the building on the case situation, I had to re-announce myself to the building.
Right.
Cause these homies don't know me. So the person I had to check in with is Percy. So it was a dude from the north side named Tebow. He told me to go check in with Percy. So when I checked in with Percy, Percy basically said, because I made parole, bro. You feel what I'm saying? I made parole. So when I made parole, I'm only in the building for a week. You feel me? I'm not doing tours in that bitch like 6 months and all that shit. I did most of my time on the camp. So the homies I politic with on the camp was totally different from the building. So when I went in, Percy was like, when you enter the cell block, you gotta run a fade. Yeah, he told me that. Yeah, he did. Gotta run a fade. Because I made parole, an older homie named OG Bubble, he said, he from Madisonville, he a Madisonville Hoover. He said, you shouldn't even politic in that because you go home. So the only reason I didn't even instantly hop in the blender with these guys was because I made parole. But if I didn't make parole, you gonna have to get it from day one.
So when were you gonna get it? Like, I guess, how long? Like, so essentially, they didn't get to catch up with you because you had left.
Yeah, but it was no catch. They wasn't gonna have to catch up with me. I was gonna catch up with them. Like that's how it is. Like in prison, it's like if a nigga, like once you in violation, when you say you want to put your fucking hands on me, my bad for cussing. When you say you want to put your hands on me, right. I'm about that, you about that. Ain't no man bigger than no man in here. So this the fathom of you, because when I was 24, I was fucking ignorant. Ignorant. I wasn't trying to hear that. So when you say you want to fight, oh, you want to fight, and I'm already mad because I'm here, we gonna fight. So like, nah, every fight I ever had in prison, bro, was like, I started it. I never let nobody spray off on me, bro. I started the shit. Like, straight up.
Well, today on RealToonTV, we have the man, formerly known as FDA Crip.
Houston Crip FDA.
Houston Crip FDA.
Oh, I try to change my image, so I go by Big Fred now. So, like, no more Houston Crip FDA.
No more Houston Crip FDA.
Yeah.
Is it what, Houston Crip Big Fred or?
No, it's no Houston Crip nothing. It's Big Fred.
Big Fred. Okay.
It's basically Fred. If you just call me by my name, you want to call me, want to be hip, you can call me Big Fred if you want to, but it's Fred.
Okay, Big Fred. That's cool. I can call you Fred, Big Fred, Freddy Krueger, whatever you want.
No, hell no.
Respectfully, you know. Well, what's new in your life before we even get started?
I had a baby 2 months ago. Had a little girl named Royalty. 5th kid, last kid. So, cause I got married like 2 years ago. Not 2 years, yeah, 2 years ago. And the reason why I got married, cause I thought we was just gonna have a baby girl. And I just wanted to be a better example. Cause I had 2 boys for a long time. So when I had a baby girl, I had to start loving the mom how I want my daughter to be loved. So we only got married, and after being married, we had 2 more kids. Shit.
Oh wow. Wow, so y'all still together?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on your success. You know, congratulations on the new addition to the tribe. You know what I'm saying?
She a little boy. I think that's gonna be the one I like. That's gonna be my favorite one.
Yeah, I know the first few months is the toughest few months.
I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, I do security also. So shout out to my wife. She had to step in because I'm usually at work. So when I was working doing security and things like that, I miss some of that. Like, so. Yeah. But right now, she sleep all night now. She sleep in her baby bed, like, okay, no crying.
That's good. Yeah, I know the first few months is cluster feeding, you know what I'm saying, almost every hour, needing that attention. Yeah.
But we ain't new to the game. We got 5 kids, so right. You know what I'm saying? So we just jumped into motion.
Right.
You know, like I think when you first have your first kid, you know what I'm saying, it's new to you, but once you second, third, and fourth, shit, the way of life now. So shit, right. Now I know. Oh, she crying. She gonna eventually stop crying.
Right. Well, congratulations again, man. For the people who don't know, where are you from?
I'm from the South Side, but see, it's like I'm gonna say it like this, right? My grandparents is from Hillwood, and when my mom left her nest, my mom moved to Southwest. You know what I'm saying? So when my mom moved to Southwest, she stayed like in the Woodfell. Like, no, the first place she stayed on the Southwest side was Sandpiper. From Sandpiper, she moved to Woodfell. From Woodfell, she moved to Foreign Park. From Foreign Park, she moved to Brooklyn Circle.
Now you all talking about, you're talking Houston, right?
Yeah.
Southwest Houston.
Yeah.
So around how old were you when y'all moved to Southwest?
I was 14.
And like what year is this around?
Around 99, 2000. See, it's like, you know, you had the old, you like, how can I say it? You had the old SWAT and you had the new SWAT. Like the new SWAT, I know a couple of them, but I don't know a lot of them. So like, for prime example, like I grew up with my homeboy J30, brother Baby John. I came up in his era. I was actually cool with, you know what I'm saying, 30 Ways brother Lil Tay.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I grew up in their era. But after that, because I played football, I moved back to my grandmother's side because my mom already know the type of activity I was getting into. And my grandmother and my grandfather was more structural people. So before I ended up getting killed or going to jail for some dumb shit, she'll ship me to the south side with my grandparents.
So let's talk about it a little bit. The southwest side is originally was a BD neighborhood. As a matter of fact, Woodfair in particular was a BD area.
Sugar Branch was the BD area. Where I stayed in Sugar Branch, when I was staying there, it was like BD.
And at some point, that changed.
Yeah. That evolved after I wasn't staying over there anymore.
So while you were there, it was still a BD area?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it still had a couple of members because the person that made...
Even Foreign Park was BD?
For Sugar Branch, when I was staying there for sure was BD. Okay. My homeboy T, you know, so I can't say his government name, but my homeboy T, he a real member of them. And I remember when we was kids, you know what I'm saying, he was out there, right. You know what I'm saying, so he that though, you know what I'm saying, he BD. So, you know what I'm saying, so, like, that's what it was.
Right. At what point did you decide to hop off the porch and get with the gang?
Because, like, bro, it was a situation that happened at Funplex, bro. I cussed out the wrong female. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the south side. I went to Carter G. Woodson. So we really didn't do no gang shit. We went by neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying, when we was on the south side. So when we got to the southwest, that's why southwest really get the situation called gangland, because you actually got kids that's 14, 15, they in gangs. For real, for real. So we go to Funplex, you know what I'm saying, female talking shit to my brother. I cussed the female out. Same nigga my brother dab up, they come back up 15 deep in. I'm thinking they about to jump her. I'm ready to fight. Shit, fuck it. But my brother ended up he jumped in front of me. He got punched in his shit. Like, no lie. He got punched in his shit because I cussed the female out. So after that, it was like, if you ain't fucking with nobody, you gonna be a victim on the SWAT.
Who was the people who punched him in this?
I had no idea who these people were.
As in, like, what gang were they?
That was BD.
Okay.
It was BD.
Yeah, and at that time, I believe it was BD or die.
Okay, bro, look, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. It's like, I can only speak for me. When I speak for, like, the era, age time I grew up in, it's like, coming from the south side, like, we wasn't on no gang shit. We didn't care about that shit. You know what I'm saying? And no disrespect to nobody. It was like, we gonna box or we gonna do what we gotta do. Like, I don't know what they terms was like. The guy that introduced me to Crip, you know what I'm saying, he was a guy that he led like a leader, you know what I'm saying, and his name is Elo, you know what I'm saying. Before it was FBC, he was Cripping over there, you know what I'm saying, and that was somebody I was underneath. So by him moving like a leader, being righteous in certain situations, you know what I'm saying, that what made me jump down. It was his leadership ability and the way that he led the homies was around him. So that what made his life, because it was a situation I was about to get jumped. I really didn't even know him like that. You know what I'm saying? He pulled up to the school, nigga had my back by any means. So when he showed that was like, it was like with the brotherhood between how he gave a fuck about the people that was around him. That what made me want to hop down. It wasn't about no being afraid or none of that.
Around what age were you when you joined the Crips?
I was 13.
You was 13?
Yeah.
And at some point, you end up going to jail, getting locked up.
Yeah, but it had nothing to do with, you know what I'm saying, like gang shit. It was more organized. Like, you know what I'm saying, I really don't talk about it because I still have people that's affiliated to my face and still in the business. So I don't really talk about what I really went to prison for. But
What was the charge?
I got charged with tampering with government documents, theft over 1,500, and falsified use of identifying info.
Okay. And you were sent to Fergason unit.
Yeah.
For that?
Yes. I was sent to prison for that. I was sent to prison because I didn't snitch.
Okay.
That's why I was sent to prison. Usually the thing I had was a misdemeanor. Having a fake ID is a misdemeanor. But then because it was a driver license, that turned into a second-degree felony. Because when you fabricate a driver license, that's a permit of the state. So that's a sealed document. So that's why they hit you with tampering with a government document.
So, slow down. If you would have had the ID, it would have been a misdemeanor.
Because I have a driver license is a felony.
But the ID is still given to you by the government too, right? You go to the
DPS office, but because the ID is a must, the driver license is a privilege, bro. It's not a must that you have a driver license. So, prime example, you get caught too much drinking too much Hennessy. Shit, we can take your license away from you, but you still have to have a ID to identify.
Right.
So your driver license is the privilege. So if you fabricate a document that's a privilege, that's a government document. And then what make it a felony is because with the intent to defraud and harm, meaning I'm trying to tell you my name is Lonnie Lunsby, but I know my name is FDA, but I'm trying to convince you, you're Big Fred. As long as I'm trying to convince you that I'm motherfucking James Brown, but I'm knowing I'm not James Brown, that's with the intent to defraud and harm.
Wow. And then who'd you attempt to defraud? The police?
Nah, the world.
Okay. Well, we don't have to talk about it if there's other people still.
Yeah, that's what I say is other people still do shit.
How'd you get caught and singled out?
Because I went to, I was on the run from the police, bro. So, my ex-wife, her aunt was married to JoJo from Jodeci. Mm-hmm. So we all decided to move to California with JoJo and my aunt Tiny. You know what I'm saying? I was on the run. So you know what I'm saying? So I was on the run for some other shit I did. So go to Cali, didn't like Cali. I was in Lancaster, California. Didn't like Cali because I'm a Texas person, and I ended up coming back, and my partner was under investigation. So by my partner being under investigation, I became being under investigation. So you know what I'm saying? So they ran into one of our houses. We ducked off and we were staying by the Astrodome. So one day, Thanksgiving, day before Thanksgiving, I go outside talking shit to the nigga. The whole time his undercovers watching us outside.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I turn around, about to walk in the house. Motherfucking guy, I remember it was a 40 in my face. Nigga say, yeah, nigga, you move, I'm gonna blow your shit off. I just like, okay. And then that's when they start telling us they had a tracking device. They didn't tell us shit. They showed us. They had a tracking device underneath her car. So that's how they tracked us to our new spot. And they recently just got married. So the nigga said he knew by my partner getting married, he knew that his wife wasn't gonna stay away from him. So I'm already on the run for probation violation for a previous case. So I tell the nigga, I said, I can't even lie about my name, bro, because like, I'm going to jail regardless because they getting a thumbprinting machine. So I end up telling them. They ran into the spot. They found what they found. They found more on him than me. You know what I'm saying? So it was more on some shit. Well, we know you a working ass nigga. That's what the cops called me, a worker. And we know you're a working ass nigga for them. So you just need to tell. Wouldn't tell. 2 months sitting in jail because I wouldn't tell. Nigga, they popped out. I get indicted at like 9 o'clock at night. They indicted me earlier that day, but I get my indictment papers early, later that night. They indicted me for not falsifying, for tampering with government documents. They had me in jail for 2 months.
Did he go to jail?
Yeah, we was all in jail at the same time. We was all like nobody had buns. We was all in jail together from Thanksgiving. I was in jail from Thanksgiving 2010 all the way until April 2012.
Okay. In recent news, and I ask you this because you actually did time on Fergason.
Yeah.
When you first got on Fergason, obviously you didn't meet Percy
No.
off the top.
No.
But did you hear about him?
Yeah.
What did you hear?
I heard that he was certified from his bro. It was a guy from Dallas, not Dallas, from Fort Worth named Rude Boy. Like when Percy sent in saying whoever, because I was one of the niggas he said should get beat up. So shit. So when he sent it in talking about niggas should get beat up, I said, man, who the fuck is Percy? So when he said, man, Percy, he certified, he an OG from Fort Worth. So when a guy from Fort Worth says, and I don't know shit, but I'm from Houston. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know shit about Fort Worth and know who is who and all that shit. So when a dude from Fort Worth vouch for him, I'm thinking that shit, he certified, people know him.
Right. Right. And so I'm saying that's the consensus in prison is that he's certified.
Yeah.
You weren't hearing.
Bro, I was in here, everything I didn't hear, bro, because a nigga wanna, man, these people want to sell tickets. And when I say these people want to sell tickets, so the only way to sell tickets is like, matter of fact, like we gonna cut the phrase selling tickets, and we're gonna go when politician campaign. You know, when politician campaign, that's one of the campaign situations, one of the nastiest things, because they planning for smearing ads. Have you ever started? Yeah, because Greg Abbott, he was caught in the woods shooting deers, and he was against this and blah blah blah. So they running their smear campaigns so they can bring the attention to them. Cause see, they want to be like, people is not gonna say it, but these dudes want to be in this position. Everybody want to be in front of these lights. Some people get a thrill for being in front of these lights. People get a thrill. Bro, you don't understand, bro. In Houston, like when you hear bro, that's why they here, bro. When I say I'm about to go see RealToon, they say, you going to go see RealToon for real? I'm like, damn, y'all know they nigga like that. And now you bro, they 18, 14, so like, come on, bro. These grown niggas is like him. They fanned out. They want to we want a RealToon interview. So what we ever got to do, I ain't gonna lie to you. Everything I said about Percy, outside that pussy shit, that shit cap, is internet shit. I'm talking shit about him to try to get a hit. You feel what I'm saying? But then I realized I'm doing the shit wrong instead of trying to compete with this nigga, just be me. And talk about with me. I can't worry about what Percy's doing. I can't worry about if Percy being a good father. I can't worry about if Percy being a good person. That's his business. So you got people that try to get personal because they want to get in front of the camera. They want to be the person that want to be known. A lot of these old niggas want to be known.
So what are your thoughts? I'm not sure if you heard of Fergason Chronicles, but there's a guy by the name of OG Hollywood, whom I've had the pleasure of speaking with for extended periods of time. Several people who vouched for Percy actually vouched for Hollywood.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Not trying to interrupt you, but like when it come out like Hollywood, bro, I respect Hollywood. Sometimes Hollywood shit can be messy. It's messy. The situation he did with Percy was totally messy, but because the situation's messy, that don't mean the person's messy. How OG Hollywood carries himself, I respect him. So it's like I don't like the atmosphere because like, you know what I'm saying, you being messy, bro. And nobody never told the homie that, like, you being messy.
Yeah. Hollywood hosted a day room.
I saw it.
The day room is a place in prison where everybody meets up to watch TV and play dominoes and bust down spreads and.
That's when they gonna hang out with their friends, bro, in jail.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Hollywood set up a place where you can hang out with your friends on the internet and on StreamYard.
Mm-hmm.
And there's King Shoes in there, 103rd Suge's in there, Hollywood's in there, a guy by the name of Kryptonite's in there, CEO Hockley. And that's his name, CEO Hockley. That's his actual, that's what he goes by.
You should call that nigga Empty Wagon.
What do you mean?
He too loud. Too loud for nothing. Big T fast, he too loud.
Well, Well, Hockley goes in on Percy, right? Just goes in left and says he's not telling the truth about what happened on Fergason, and essentially saying that he didn't have the keys to the Crip car because nobody had the keys. This was a point that was made. Suge did not give Percy the keys because nobody could have the keys, so how can Percy have the keys?
Bro, man. Look. So how he had, bro, that's what I'm saying. You know, I feel like I'm the internet bad guy. People be saying I be lying, but I have no reason to lie. Like, so if he didn't have the keys, why did a dude tell me to, like, check in with him, bro? Like, that's when I know this prison shit, man. Look, I ain't trying to cuss, man. But that's how I know this stuff is fabricated, bro. That's how I know it's fabricated, because I saw it with my own eyes. It's nothing that they can tell me. It's nothing they can tell me. You can't take that away from, like, that situation. You can't take that away from them. Them dudes are just mad because it ain't they cool asses in front of the TV screen. They mad because who the person is. They really hating on Percy because it's him. If it was one of their friends, if it was one of OG Hollywood, bro, like, bro, no disrespect. I don't have no, like, bro, me and Dewberry didn't change words, but Dewberry, I watched one day how Dewberry, he wrote this man meat, like, you know what I'm saying? He told OG, he said, I'm so, man, he said, OG Hollywood, he said, man, you are a legend. This man praised this man like this man was Martin Luther King, and he ain't nowhere, no disrespect to Hollywood, but you're nowhere near Martin Luther King or Malcolm X. You're telling him to praise Martin Luther King. He wouldn't even have enough education about Martin Luther King to praise him, but he praised that man like that. That's when you gotta seriously look at these dudes. These dudes are characters, bro. Hockley is a character, bro. Hockley want everybody to know that I sell t-shirts and I buy houses. Percy, it doesn't matter if Percy does what he do. They can't beat him because of his attitude and his cheerfulness, bro.
Well, let me say this in Hockley's defense, and Hollywood and everybody else for that matter. But Hockley didn't actually do time with Percy, and so I guess Hockley was coming from the point of I actually did time here. And it was serious when I did time here. And so what you're saying can't be true.
Hockley should mind his business. Because y'all was in prison in 2 different times. So just because a nigga wasn't running prison when you was there, don't mean he could have ran it when he was there. Because you was there in 9-4. And Percy was there in 2010. That's a long motherfucking time. So you was in prison when there was no rules. You was in prison when you had to really go in what you go in on. Percy was in prison where he was taking advantage of peons. Dudes who was scared, because don't let this be known too. There's a lot of dudes that hop on that bus are scared as hell. And you can tell which ones are scared. So the Safe Prison Act, when you doing shit in the Safe Prison Act, you really picking on the peons. You're not picking on the guys that's gonna rock and roll. Tough guys don't get tough with the tough guys, bro. Cause when tough guys get tough with the tough guys, bro, somebody gonna get hurt. Real shit. So it wasn't going on like that. It's 2 different things. Even when that situation was happening, bro. That man, because they is so ultra sensitive about what we say in America now, so we ain't gonna disrespect no dignity or nothing. But in prison, I'm gonna say it, if we was really whooping Hispanics, and no disrespect to the Hispanics, I don't want them to get mad, but some of them dudes that act like that gangster, we was whooping their asses. We was beating their asses. So we was beating their ass in the street, we was beating their ass in jail. So why in the hell will you start a rice ride with Houston when we outnumber Houston, when we outnumber Tango? We stronger than them. So why would you even say that's what you got into a riot about? And then not only that, if you see a nigga in prison get into
Who said they got into a riot with his?
I think Hockley said that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't want to be quoted.
Okay. I haven't seen it.
That's what I say. I think he said he got into a ride one time in the cafeteria. So I assumed it was with Hugh Stone. But one thing about the whole situation is like, that nigga Hockley want to be a YouTuber. Hockley ain't getting on this whole talking. Hockley is a YouTuber, bro. Shout out to Hockley.
Shout out to Hockley.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to ask you, as a Fergason OG.
I'm not a Fergason OG.
You made it out.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I take credit on making it out, but I don't want to be tied to none of that shit. Like, see, this is what I want these guys to show. If you're going to talk about prison and glorify prison, talk about the struggles we have after prison. Talk about how some dudes lose everything they have in prison and come out to have nothing. Don't have no help, don't have nobody. Everybody tell you get a job, you got to go against the world. And then also tell the felons that getting out, like this is what I can say. This is why I can appear. That's why I want to change my image. I appear to tell the felon to get out is light at the end of the tunnel. You can do what you want to do eventually one day. Because when you first got out of prison, them people run your name, you ain't getting no goddamn jobs, bro. These people, you gonna have to go clean our tanks, or go work at McDonald's, and because we're in the state of Texas, be a repeat offender. We don't have opportunity out here like that. Everybody think it's sweet in Texas. That's why all them out-of-towners coming out here, and once they deal with the penal system, they gonna know shit ain't sweet. They don't know the cost of living really hard out here. You know what I'm saying? We don't have no government assistance for men. It's either we break the law or we do jobs that we don't want to do. But then eventually, if they say the system can be beat, the system can be beat. And I realized the system can be beat because at one point, there was no way I could be a security officer. There was no way I could get licensed. See, you have security, you have licensed security. Licensed security, you have to get permitted by the state. In order to get permitted by the state, you got 2 criminal background checks. You have the DPS and you have the feds. So what I learned, because my wife tricked me, because I needed a job. So my wife said, yeah, they making $16 an hour parking cars. I said, shit, I'll go park some cars for $16 an hour. But the whole time, my wife noticed some security shit. So it was a dude named Martinez. He walked into the building and he said, I just want to introduce y'all to one of the top security firms in the world, Andy Frank something. I almost looked at my wife and said, man, I'm about to get the fuck up out of here. My wife showed me the phone, she Googled. She said, how long you been out of trouble? I say 10 years. So she said, she Googled 10 years, if a felon 10 years been out of trouble. My wife said, you can get your license. But I had to be out of trouble for 5 to 10 years in order to get that license. So the most powerful thing to me was when I got licensed. People not knowing my first security job, I was a contract security officer, but I worked at Facebook. I worked at Meta. It was called Cyrus One. I won't get in trouble now because I'm out there, but I worked at Cyrus One, Facebook and Instagram, with hard drives and shit at. Back in the day, I never thought I'd be around they trusted me to watch this shit. In order to even get in this building, I gotta scan my fingerprint. In some situations, I gotta scan my eye to get in. So I just want these guys to know in the pen, you feel like I was at Blunt 19 for a while.
But it took you 5 years before you qualified to do that.
Yeah, but you gotta work through it. You gotta basically what you're doing is you gotta get society to deem you safe again. Society don't trust you, just like when that parent punished you for skipping. That parent, like, I forgot what he did, but when he did his first infraction, I didn't trust him at first. You know what I'm saying? He had to regain my trust so I can trust him. I don't even trust the nigga to drive my car. Get your license first, bro. Then you can drive. So that's how society is. Society gonna treat you like a parent. Like, you gotta do things, and then I fall victim to it because I disappoint society in my community the way that I behave sometimes online because that's not what I want to represent because I done came so far into gaining the public trust again. So I don't want to be known as, that's why I don't go as History Crip FDA. Because pay attention to any courtroom, to any police station, you hear Crip of blood, they ain't talking about no Crip of bloods in a positive way. They talking about indicting y'all. I don't want to be a part of nothing that's gonna be on a RICO or an indictment.
I just want to, for clarification, you went viral, made no jumper, because you claimed that you witnessed
No, I didn't.
Homicide.
No, I didn't. Bro, you asked that shit on quick. Hell no. Hell no. I'm not even gonna let you play me like that.
By Mo3.
No, I didn't say I witnessed that shit. It was a phone call. Me and my partner, we supposed to be going to the club that night. I wasn't capping. I was trying to link up with that nigga not even Rainwater. I didn't know who Mo3 manager was at the time, but I was gonna link up with him for my partner from New Orleans to get a verse from Mo3. We was on the way outside the club, on the way to the club. He fucking on a bartender at the club. You know what I'm saying? She called his phone and tell us to turn around. She tell us that Mo3 killed 2 people. So when I got online, I'm not going off what I saw. I'm going off of hearsay. Because when somebody called my phone and said, not my phone, called my homeboy phone. So when I mentioned it, and then when you go look it back, and then you go do your homework, that nobody got killed, that means she was lying. And that's why you never supposed to repeat what somebody tell you unless you have all the facts. So I learned my first mistake. 1, don't talk about shit because it can go like wildfire. And 2, make sure that your source reliable. That's what.
Right. So essentially, you did lie, but you lied on the premise of you actually heard the information.
Yeah, I know I didn't lie.
Instead of you saying reportedly or my homegirl said.
Yeah, I did say that. I did say that.
It looked like you said that.
Nah, bro.
I'm just saying what was said after.
Nah,
like,
bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm bro.
After that, it seemed like things just started going downward. You know what I'm saying?
But that shit been going down because it's negative. The way it's like, you look at people, right? You look at people. You stay in Houston, then you'll go to Richmond, or you'll go to Faulkner, Texas. When you go to these people, bro, these people is not worried about that type of shit, bro. So you gotta change the channel. See, a lot of people, like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you. I had a guy who reached out to me on YouTube. He from the military, bro. He taught me how to look at life in a different way. You know what I'm saying? And then when you change the channel and get away from certain situations, it's like you start to realize shit. Like, no, I regret all that. I'm not, and that's why I want people to understand, because, like, this is the realest I can tell you. It's like, I'm done with this shit. I don't care about the media. I care about my self-respect and my kids' self-respect. The internet is a very vicious place.
Absolutely.
And it all started because I wanted to be cool to talk about a person I didn't even fucking know. I don't know Mo3. I should have never spoke on that on Mo3. But then at the same time too, I was at one point, I was wanting to be one of the guys in front of the lights. And I like.
At one point you was doing
yeah.
You ain't gotta say no name.
Yeah. And then when you got a person, but just like I said, you know, when they always come for me in front of this camera, I gotta share the responsibility by myself. But, you know, you have certain people and certain individuals that allow for you to say the shit for their benefit so they can embarrass you at the end. So you gotta be what I learned in this game, you gotta be very, very careful.
You feel like that happened to you?
Huh?
You feel like that happened to you?
Of course. Of course.
Why do you feel like that?
It's the, bro, you know, what we're gonna say is like, it's the people. The fans, the people, like the people, I got people that love me, I got people that hate me. Also, I got some free pizza.
Nobody put a gun to your head and told you to say this.
Hell no, I can't, bro. So that's what accountability started with me. But at the same time too, if we gon', how it's gonna be, how can I say this right? If I see that you do something wrong, I gotta still be responsible for you. How can I expect for you to drive right if I don't drive right? So because I drive right, I gotta make sure that you drive right. So it's called accountability. If you see somebody doing something that's gonna damage their stuff, and you sit there and watch them crash, you more responsible than the person that's crashing. Cause you see that it's coming, but you want it to happen. Accountability. So nobody can't never blame a blogger, but then at the same time too, a blogger can click that button off and say, hey, cut it out, bro. I'm not fucking with it. I ain't putting it out. But then when you got somebody that's embarrassing themselves, and you know that they're embarrassing themselves, and you put it out anyway, that's for your personal gain. So you accountability on both ends.
Right. You felt like at a point you were embarrassing yourself by some of the stuff you were saying, put out, and do, and we're just gonna call a spade. But Pico knew that you were doing these things. He knew you was embarrassing yourself, and he still put it out anyway. High thoughts to you.
I can't answer that.
Oh, you under a contract?
I ain't even under a contract. I just don't got no time for them niggas to be crying. You feel me?
Yeah, I understand.
They also, bro, look, you know what I'm saying? And I'll never get this nigga no light on this shit, but he got a certain person feel like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I said, somebody bigger than the program. That's just it. When it come down to it, bro, it's like when you want to do something with somebody and you want to correspond with somebody, because at the same time too, we basing our shit off of y'all.
What you mean?
Like, bro, you know how you interview OG Percy?
Right.
How Diamond Stone interview OG Percy? How Trustee get interviewed by Sean? I was trying to follow that platform so I could get big with somebody that I thought that had my best interest. Do I think he had my best? This bro. Bro, look. Do I feel like he had my best interest at heart? Do you feel like he had my best interest at heart? No. Do I feel like he did it for the benefit of him? Yes, that's the truth. He did it for the benefit of him. He the only one who capitalized off of that. I haven't made a dime. People call me an asshole.
You haven't made any money off YouTube since working with Pico?
None.
I ain't laughing at oh shit.
None.
Oh God.
None.
Oh
Bro.
man. I'm not laughing at you, bro. I'm
But
laughing.
you can cut the camera off because I want to say something about somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think one time I was interviewing Percy. He charged us $20 for the interview. And I went back and I wanted some more information. I just wanted to see what was the dead box. He keep bringing up this dead box. And he charged me 20 more. So about $40. That's a whole price. You know, I ain't know nothing it is on Bissonnette. West Airport right now.
Bro.
And I didn't know nothing about paying nobody. I didn't want to pay nobody. I wasn't making no money. And he was like, you gonna put a few zeros behind that next time you come. And since then, it's been a few zeros behind that every time.
No, it's two people. I give love to that I'm not gonna say their name publicly, but they know who they are. It's two people that I did gain from that situation. You know what I'm saying? But personally, from like saying from this to this, no sir. Yeah. So like now and then, not only that.
That's sad, bro. I'm sorry to hear that. I ain't mean to laugh. No, I don't mean to laugh, fool, cause y'all was really working. You know, it's different when, for a long time, bro. Like for a year. How long were you with?
2 years. 2 years, nothing.
And I laugh because niggas make fun of Percy. You a dope fiend. You did shoot that. And I remember they laughed at him when people was finding out he charged us $40. And if over this time span, I don't know what he's made with Diamond Stone or Urban. I just know with all of us, he's made over. I don't want to get in the nigga pockets, bro.
But I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. The only nigga that paid me, bro, was Trey 600.
Trey 600. I taught him how to pay niggas. I taught him that game.
Yeah, Trey 600 was
My nigga Trey on everything.
Trey 600 was the only nigga that like say, what's that cash out? And no, the other shit, like, no, bro.
That's crazy. 2 years.
Hey, RealToon, it's some real money in the room.